Hiya, welcome to Emma Chizzit's channel. That's what I'm calling it now. The Emma Chizzit channel sounded like corporate. Now they're drilling again. If you've watched, unless I cut it from the previous one, I may have done that. I may have just edited that out, but they're drilling again. And so it may be the first time for you, the viewer, but it is the second time for me, the talker. Today I wanted to talk about the politics of drag and of non-conformative gender expression. Wow. I almost sound like I'm an intellectual. I'm really not. Well, I kind of am, but if anything, I'm a lowbrow intellectual. I'm not, I haven't read a lot of theory and stuff, but I have thoughts on the issue. And I think one of the first catalysts for my getting into drag was when I was at the House of Presents show. It was very early on. It was like on our second or third show. Pansy, who is the host, was saying that doing drag is kind of a middle finger to gender stereotypes, like kicking the patriarchy in the balls. And that really resonated with me because I'm an old anarchist punk rocker and like, you know, smash the system. That, you know, I may say it in a funny voice, but I mean it. And so that for me was like, wow, I should put on a dress just to fuck with things. And that was, I had never had the urge to put on a dress in my life before that. Although, when I spoke to Pansy shortly after that and said that, you know, that really resonated with me, Pansy looked me up and down and then she said, "Girl, you've worn a dress before." And that's actually, no, I said yes at the time, but I realized that's not true because it was a skirt. When I was about 7, a girlfriend had left a denim skirt at my house. I was 7 in 1971, so it was a denim skirt. It was a patched denim skirt, a long one. And so I was 7 or 8, 71, 72, and she'd left it at my house, and I wore that out one day, because when you're that young too, you're very obviously androgynous looking, so the way you dress is going to be how people take your gender. And yeah, but that's the only time really that I've actually worn women's clothing in any way, shape, or form. And that's also been very surprising about this, has been like how much emotion this has stirred up with me. And like I've mentioned earlier, I don't think it's sexual. I don't think it's erotic. And they're drilling again. And I will admit that I am a little bit sad that I couldn't just be a straight guy who happens to like drag. That, I think, you know, I was fine with being that. I was fine with like, what? No, I'm not interested in cross-dressing or doing drag or anything. I just happen to love this art form. But no, evidently somewhere in the back of my head or in the back of my emotions, and somewhere there was this need for me to do it, evidently. So I didn't know. And I've had a lot of time to analyze this. Was I like secretly a cross-dresser? And I don't think so. Like I said, I don't get an erotic charge of it. I like it, and it's interesting, and it's emotional. But I think it's partly the political thing, and partly, I don't know. My main motive here is to have fun and hopefully not offend anyone that I don't want to offend. There are certainly people that I wouldn't mind if I offended. You know, various conservative or closed-minded types, but don't want to offend anybody who I like. I'm sorry. I think that probably goes for almost anyone. But anyway, that's as deep as I'm going to get politically. I'm sorry about that. It's really not my thing. I mean, I'm interested in politics. I've talked a lot of politics. I've read a lot about it to an extent. I haven't read Bakunin. I mean, for an anarchist, that's kind of basic. I should have done that, but I never really did. So I don't feel qualified to get into any deep details. I just want to say that I think it's a strong motivation for me is the political one as well, to be able to say, you know, fuck it, I'm going to be a guy who dresses as a woman, and you can't stop me. That's not what I meant, but and you can fuck off, maybe. It's me, John, who will eventually be Emma Chizzit, and I don't know if I'm going to do any videos, but I probably will. Eventually, there will be Emma in front of the camera. Right now, I'm not ready for that. I have gone out in drag once. I did not like the photographs myself, except one or two, like the curated ones. Somebody took like 40 pics, and there's like one that's okay. And the worst part is the only one that's okay, I got my eyes closed on. I'm like, I'm doing this. So, all right, whatever. But at least, well, the double chin looked awful. Let me not get into that. Today's video is going to be about what Emma does. And we've established that she is a pub landlady of the Cock and Bowls in Clacton-on-Sea. That much we know, but what does Emma do on stage? I was thinking about lip syncing. I'd gone from, I'm not going to lip sync, to, yeah, I think I can lip sync. I think I can do that. But now I'm not so sure anymore, because somehow the character changed in my head when I was out with out as her on Tuesday, and I kind of lost, or there's now a dimension to her where lip syncing becomes weird. So I think I'm probably going back to something that I said earlier, is that it's going to be more, Emma's stuff on stage is going to be more in the tradition of female impersonation, which is a thing, which is not necessarily drag either. But for instance, Steve Coogan, who you may have seen in The Trip or as Alan Partridge, also has a character called Paul Calf, and his character Paul Calf has a sister that Steve Coogan also does as a character called Pauline Calf. And that is more of a, I mean, it's obviously a caricature. She's a bit of an idiot, but it's not so much a camp character, it's a female character. And I think that's where I'm going to land. I mean, that's what I think now. I don't know. This is constantly evolving. But I do know I want to avoid the gay camp thing. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to, and that's not because I don't like that, but again, like I've mentioned before, because I don't want to culturally appropriate those things. I am not gay, and I don't think I have a right to use those things even in drag. So it's going to be, yeah, I'm still working on it. It's only been 2 days since I went out, although you're probably watching this a lot later, because I am pre-recording some stuff with Mia Holiday, who is behind the camera and doing a great job, and thank you so much for all this. And it's she's leaving, so I'm kind of trying to pre-record some stuff that I can post it. And if the next one you see is just me sitting in my crappy living room with my webcam on my MacBook, then you know Mia's not back yet. And I think that that's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to see if I can work something out that looks and sounds a little better than just the crappy webcam and built-in camera. But I make no guarantees. So basically what I'm saying is, take care of yourself, and you will find out whether I've done better next time.